Hello, my name is Yasmin Euphemia, aka Sugar, and I'm here tonight with.
Beverly, UK Fluffy Chick. That's who I am. Yeah. And we are the founder sisters of Support a Sis-Star Network. And this evening we have with us Daniella, Danny. Hi.
Hello, Danny.
Hello, hi, how you doing?
Which do you prefer, Danny or Daniella?
Either one is absolutely fine.
All
As
right.
long as it's not Danielle. Danny or Daniela is fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
share with the community, Danny, who you are and what it is that you're showcasing with us this evening.
Okay, so my name is Daniella Bleckner. I'm an author, book journey mentor, founder of a publishing company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. We work with authors from all over the world to help them to get their powerful message and story out there in the form of professional books, some of which you can see on the bookshelf behind me there.
Great. So you wanted to say something, Sugar? Because I know I have a tendency to interrupt you. So
No, you go ahead.
okay. So what led you to wanted to be a publisher, author, book mentor, all of them something there? What led you to want to do that?
Well, I've always wanted to be an author from like 4 years old. I remember being asked, what do you want to do? And I was like one of these precocious kids, like, I'm going to be an author when I retire from being a vet at 21. I never became a vet, ended up working with young people. And then I published my first book, my 30 in 2014. Didn't need to know how old I was then. But yeah, sort of mid-30s around then. I've gone on to publish 8 books. So I had never set out to set up a publishing company. That wasn't my intention. I didn't, never thought about, helping other people publish their books. It's almost come about accidentally or organically. It came about through rejection, through my own publishing journey, wanting to publish my own book and, trying to get agents and trying to go the traditional publishing route. Really tricky. You send off your query letter, which is like a 1-page CV of yourself and your book. If you're lucky, you get some responses back in 3 months' time. And, I stopped writing during that time. And I had lots of letters coming in saying, great work, very witty, very funny, great writing capability. However, we're looking for somebody with more of an audience, so it's not quite right. Then I started doing what they tell you not to do, and that's to apply to traditional publishing companies. So I was like sending my work to HarperCollins and people like that, knowing that they were going to say, "Who the heck are you? You haven't got an agent. What?" So I did it anyway, and then I stopped writing. And then when I got more rejection letters, I suddenly realized that I wasn't waiting for a response. I was waiting for validation, and meanwhile, I'd stopped writing. So I was like, listen, by hook or by crook, I'm getting this book out, especially as it featured other women's stories in there. The book did quite well. And then I had lots of other, mainly women at the time, asking me, can you help me publish my book? Or I've tried to apply for agents, or I'm not quite getting the coverage I want in mainstream publishing. They're asking me to change this African sounding name to something like Sam, or you know what I mean? They're taking out the culture of something that they've the authenticity of their manuscripts. So I helped some authors just as a labor of love, and they started doing well. And I was like, damn, I should have charged for this. Like, this was a lot of my time and work. And so it kind of just snowballed from then. We've gone on to do 160, publishers, 160 authors. We do workshops, offer publishing services, mentoring services. And it just came about organically through so many people struggling to get their own voice and book out there.
Mm. Oh, I love that. Yeah. There's a book in everyone, I say.
Yeah. Gosh, you're not going to start telling us about yours, are you?
No. I won't do that. I won't do that. But you had a book in it, Sugar. So you can relate on this author journey that Danny's telling us about, no?
Yeah, but you know what? Whenever anybody says, "Oh, you've done a book to me," I hesitate because mine is academic in the sense that it's a type of textbook sort of thing, not a story.
Oh,
and most people, yeah, and most people when they talk about their book, it's like either a sort of a semi-autobiography or a fiction book or something. So I sort of sit back when people say that they've published, because I think, well, yeah, I've published my book, but it's not the same, is it? Is it, Danny?
I disagree. Because it's
Oh.
still your knowledge and information that only you can have, and you can express in your way in the form of a book. So you are a published author. Author could mean anything from, an audible, audio book. It could be a poetry book. It could be a self-development book. It could be an autobiographical book. It could be an academic book. It could be a textbook, as you say. It could be a workbook. You're still published author.
So there.
Oh,
On the title, girl. On the title. Yeah.
I'm owning the title. Okay.
Right.
Good. My job is done. I'm
Right.
going.
You see,
So
that's why you grew it organically.
So where are you now on this? You're an established publisher. So what, people reach out to you and recruit you to help them publishing their books, yeah?
Yeah, so we offer a free 30-minute consultation. So we talk through with the client what their book idea is, what assistance they might need. Sometimes they're not ready, but generally, if they're ready, they make a submission. We have a manuscript submission process, so we don't publish everyone. So we'll look through it, we'll review it, and then if we feel like they've got a good first draft and we're a good fit, then we'll offer those publishing services. So it's like a joint venture where they pay for the services, but they keep the royalties. And we've got everything under one umbrella. We've got the editors, typesetters, illustrators. I do the uploading of the book, all the technical, boring stuff people don't want to know or don't understand how to do. We do an element of marketing. We also help with book launch events. I run workshops, so book strategy calls as well, because people forget to market and promote their books as well. So yeah, we just assist the author along the whole process of the journey.
Okay. And you recently had a book event that I was unable to attend. I was on my way and the traffic was
you
just
missed
something. I don't know.
You missed
Imagine I was the one who told her about it.
I know, that's
with me. And then
you missed something, girl.
Yeah. So how often do you have events like that?
Do you know what? Because obviously lockdown, we haven't done that for a while. So this is the 4th Black Authors on the Rise event. The first time we did it in person was 2019. So it's the first one. And then we've done a couple online during that time. But we have lots of different events as well. Like I say, workshops, book launches. I don't want to do Black Authors on the Rise once a year in, October. I want to do it all across the year. But that obviously means getting assistance from different boroughs and libraries and funding, because at the moment I literally do all of this myself. So I need a team. I need support to have bigger and better events and get support of established organizations. So I'd like to say more.
Okay, so where would you like to see conscious publishing in the long term? What's your ideal, if the mountaintop paramount, this is it, we're up there, we're proper successful?
All right, Conscious Dreams Publishing at the top of the mountain. What would that look like? Interesting. I don't know yet. I don't know what the top of the mountain.
I can tell you. I tell you what I see, Danny.
Another one. Yeah,
Danny. What I see is that you yourself are at the top of the mountain, and everybody's coming up towards you, and you're just directing them. You're not having to do this. I'm going to call it micromanaging that you're having to do now. You're just there as the overseer. That's what I see.
That. I'll take that. Less work.
Yeah.
At the top of the mountain, let it come. Yeah, I think certainly in business as well. You do, I do have people as part of the team, but you get to this point where it's like, well, if something was to happen to me, what's going to happen to my business? Is it going to fold? So it's being able to have that freedom to step out of your business and to trust people to kind of hold that space so that it's its own entity and it can grow with or without you. And then love it to be a legacy company that doesn't leave me.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Not to be morbid, but
But no,
Don't. You're never morbid when you're around me when it comes to that. I'm forever planning for that day.
Listen,
it's the one certainty in our life.
Yeah. But I know it's a one certainty in our life, but she takes it to another level. Trust me.
Oh God.
She gone too far.
No. You see, you're tempting me to talk about.
No.
No.
Write a book with it. Get
Danny
Danny to help you publish a book. Write a book about. But yeah, no, I'm
on the agenda.
Yeah, because like me personally, I would like to write a book, and I did join your webinar seminar. Yes, I joined it and I listened in, and I made all the points. I'm thinking, you know what? I don't think I'm ready, because I feel like there's more developing I need to do to. But yes, and I've got that notion from listening to your webinar. Very informative. I thought it was great. Good. I thought it was great.
Thank you. It's just for those who have an idea at the beginning stages, to get you to think about your message or why. And because what a lot of people do is they start writing and they're really excited, like, and then they go off on 10 different tangents, and then they call you 5 years later and say, I've been sitting on this book for 5 years and I'm stuck. I don't know what to do with it. Because that kind of planning and structure beforehand wasn't there,
Yeah. Because I said, I've got an idea, but then when you're saying about the whys, the wheres, the what, and the who, I thought, I didn't think about that. I just know when me want chat there, but what is my story? What is my message? Who is it to? I'm like, oh yeah. So thank you for that.
Is that the timeline thing?
So the timeline is like the structure. If you're writing your autobiography, looking at the timeline of events, but before that, knowing what your why and your message is and who your audience is.
Right? See, I learned a little something.
See it there?
Yeah, thank you so much. I very much appreciate. I made my notes and I said, "Yep, when I'm ready, I know where to go."
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, I'm most impressed that just one webinar should be able to plant that seed.
Yeah.
So you're doing well, Danny.
No, you did very well. I thought it was really good. It was really good. Yeah. So is there anything that you think we've left out that you would like to incorporate into this conversation?
I really don't know. What would you like to ask me? I'm an open book. Pardon the pun.
Oh, sugar, I see you itching. I see her sit up on
No, because we know that she's been planning to write a book from before she was 5. She's got up to write the book. So what sort of subject are your 8 books on?
So my first book was called Mr. Wrong. A lot has changed since then. So it's a collection of stories written by women across the world who've encountered this Mr. Wrong, but it's more than that. It's tongue in cheek. So you got some funny dating disaster stories in there, but you've got some serious stories of overcoming, toxic relationships, domestic abuse. But it's got success stories in there, stories from men, and there's a self-development section to it. So it looks at what our belief systems are about love, relationships, ourselves, how we create some of these things, these cycles in our life. I just found that there was a lot of stories or books out there, like, I don't know, Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady, or which I beat, by the way, in the bestseller list, or The Rules, Men Love Bitches, all those kind of, and they tell women like how to behave, what to do, how to play games in order to get a man, but nothing that showed us like how to learn from our mistakes, how to really look at our own choices, how to understand what our values are, how to love ourselves, understanding the power of forgiveness, vision boarding, intention setting, the power of our words. So I kind of shoved it all in there in one book. And that was my first book, and that's what kind of set me on the journey to starting to help other people to get their books published. I've written a poetry book called 7 Shades of Love. My latest book is Lockdown Life. So obviously
the toilet paper.
Toilet paper, of course. Can you see the little time thing here? It's being cut off. So love, laughter, and freedom amidst the pandemic. So I just wanted to capture a snapshot of time that, well, I don't think hopefully in our lifetime will ever happen again. It was just such a unique period of time. So it's like a insightful but humorous look at it. So it looks at the different characters. So the extro character, who's like an extrovert, suddenly they're locked up and they can't cope with like not being able to go out. Personally, I loved it. I learned that I was a secret introvert and I was like, hooray, I can cancel all my plans and stay in. It looks at what seriously, oh, it's a joy. Lockdown roadman, the one who's still trying to chirp you on road so he can have someone to be locked down with. Like what? Hanging outside cost cutters, you know. Oh, that's all in there. Lockdown activity like shopping, Zoom, learning Zoom, and then lessons. What can we learn about this time? You know, being part of a community, the importance of, you know, being grateful for our loved ones, things like that. So
definitely. Now I've got to make space on the bookshelf because so far I want all those books that you just mentioned. What are the other 5?
Well, this one's a small one, so I've started Lockdown Life, and it's also on Audible as well. So you don't even
brilliant, super.
1 hour and 1 hour and a half listening. You can listen to it in a bath.
Excellent. Because I'm an Audible girl. So that's right. Right. Is Mr. Wrong on Audible as well?
It's not, no, but yeah, it'd be fun if it was, but no, that's not.
Don't worry. I like the sound of that book.
Dip in and get your little stories. You can learn about Mr. Lucy, the guy who's got a 360 degree. Like, I
think we've all met one of them.
Oh wow, that is brilliant. So do you find like from your first book to writing more books that it gets easier, the writing process, or you know, find sourcing your content, your material, do you find it easier?
I mean, I love writing, so that's been something that's not. For me, what's difficult is maths. Don't ask me about numbers. I just don't want to know. But writing is not. I don't know. It's not something that's it's just something I really enjoy doing. So it's not something that's a chore or difficult, I guess. Yeah. And I guess the genres of books that I've written have been different. Whereas Mr. Wrong there was research in there. I've got research about how to spot a liar, so to look into like body language and all that sort of stuff. So that technical aspect of it took a lot. Lockdown Life was just, that was easy for me to write because I was experiencing it, you know, and it had the humor in it. The most difficult book that I started writing before any of these in 2007, I'm on my second draft now, is a middle grade fiction fantasy novel. That's completely different to writing any of this kind of non-fiction stuff, because you've got to think about characters, pace, you know, plot. Has the character changed enough? Have they had enough jeopardy? So that was the process of writing it. Wasn't difficult, but then the technical aspect of reading it back as a reader and looking at whether or not your character's grown in the way it should have, it's a different skill. So it
and also if you're evoking the feeling that you're trying to get across, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's it. Every book's different.
Okay, can I just quickly rewind back to the publishing services? So you do editing, formatting. So like with your editing, are there different stages in the editing?
Yeah, we've got different pools of editors. So, you know, we've got editors that are really good with transformational coaches or self-development book editors, who is the one specific editor in America. She's great with like sci-fi novels and children's middle grade. We've got different types of editors. So you've got the content editing, which is about obviously the content, and the developmental editing, they look at story. Then you've got copy editing, which a lot of people overlook. They're the ones that place close attention to detail. So are the citations correct? Have you taken the quotes from the right place? If you said one character has brown eyes on page 1, you know, how can they have green eyes on page 73? You know what I mean? The things that
so like continuity.
Exactly.
The continuity people. And there's a developmental edit as well.
And then we have the last stage, which is the proofread, which is generally for poetry, because you're not You're not changing that. That's someone else's voice. So you're reading those.
Because very often when you say editing, people assume that you're just checking their spelling.
I know, it's so annoying.
They don't realize the different levels of editing, and the spelling checking is right at the dead end.
You're so right. Like, editing is such a skill. Like, I don't edit. Like, I might edit children's books because they're simple in old poetry. They're simple and easy because that's just a proofread. A developmental edit it's so extensive, and there's different layers of edit. So I might read over the final thing, but I would never take a book. Like, I'm an English teacher, right? When I got my edit back for this, I was like, red mark everywhere. And I thought I could. But they just know how to tighten up your sentences and make it flow and sound fantastic. And there's so many times I speak to people and they say, "Oh, yeah, I've written a book, I've already edited it." I was like, "Okay, who's edited it?" I have. No, sorry. That's
you
not
can't edit your own book.
No, you can't edit your own book. You really can't. You see, there's things that you miss that you can't see. And it's a skill. And I would say, like, don't just get someone who's done a PhD in English or whatever, or an English teacher. You want someone who's a trained book editor in your specific genre as well. Like, that's one of my biggest tips. Do not scrimp and save on an editor. Like, they can make or break your book.
See, that's the thing, because like, hearing what you're saying there now, I don't think people really realize all that goes. I mean, yeah, you can write a book, but a book that's gonna be successful, or a chance of being successful,
or for someone to even understand what you're talking about, because when you're writing it, you understand it.
Yeah. They don't realize all the elements and all the amount of people that are involved in making this one little book.
I know.
To a world out there. So, I don't think they will value, because I think I saw you say something about people not realizing the value of this work. And it's like, no, it's like, don't get this twisted.
It's a lot. It's like you're delving into someone else's brain, but you're doing it 1, 2, 3 times. It's not just read the book. Yeah, close, done. Let's print it. And I speak to a lot of people, and they say, finished a book. Can I get this out? It's like, okay, when are you planning to publish it? Next week, few weeks, next month. Is that hell? And I'm always honest, like, Nan, I'm sorry. If you want something done properly, and it has, for me, like, if I'm working on something, it has to be done properly, and it's worth putting the time in. We try and get everything done in a 90-day process. If you're writing a 110,000 word sci-fi novel, it's not going to be done in 90 days either, because it's work, and it's going backwards and forwards. It's reading, rereading, moving things around. Then you look at the design, the font, the cover, and then you want to have at least 3 to 6 weeks promoting. So what's your promotion plan before your book even goes out there? How are you going to let people know that your book's there, apart from spamming out links? Those ones where you just see, like, I've written a book. Can you not just, like, think about a different and innovative and engaging ways to promote your book? So there's a lot that goes into it. I really don't think, and that's why I call myself a book journey mentor, because people just don't understand the journey between, behind producing this one little baby.
So if they're new, then they wouldn't back chat and want to script pennies, pay the money, because I'm good service. So
Is there anything you think we've missed out?
No, I'm happy with the chat. I wouldn't dictate what questions you need to ask me. I'm happy with the organic chat. Conscious Dreams Publishing.
That's
the wrap.
Excellent. Thank you very much.